Welcome to the Blue Collar Nation podcast, the podcast dedicated to making the lives of home service professionals better. Now join Eric and Larry to talk about all things home service.
Well, hello, everybody. Larry from SuperTech University. I just got introduced by my boss in some ways, Christy from SuperTech University. She's keeping us dialed. And I'm here with my
Christy's in
eloquent
charge.
business partner, much more eloquent than myself, Mr. Sprague. How are you today, Eric?
I'm gonna play that recording over and over again.
Over and over and over.
I'm good, man. I'm good. I just got off coaching call and we had a good meeting this morning. So yeah, good day. Good day.
Well, we
And we
are
get to
on
talk about
Facebook
one of my
Live.
favorite things, getting guys out the
Yeah, but
door.
hang on. We got to give us a premise. We got people that are watching us on Facebook, and we're going to re-record this or repurpose it to our podcast, the Blue Collar Nation podcast. And we have some great content for everybody. And Eric's dying to say what it is before we even get to anything, which is wonderful. And we enjoy coming to the Facebook group and bringing content to people in our group. We've got over 1,000 people here that are interested in growing their service businesses to be much more successful and profitable and efficient. So they're not spinning their wheels like we did for years, and many companies do, learning things all the time. And of course, we might talk about SuperTech University and promote a little bit as we're going along. But the goal here is to help everybody with their business. And without further ado, Eric, please tell everybody what you want to say so eloquently.
I eloquently want to say that we're going to talk about winning the morning so that we can win the day. Getting the team out in the field, making us money with the very least amount of drama and problems ever. Because look,
Yep.
we all know this, Larry. You and I used to lose our minds, just like probably everybody else does. Getting everybody out the door with the materials and tools that they need to have on their van, and getting to the job on time, and having everybody look good, and all those other things is one of the biggest challenges in most home service businesses, to be honest.
Because you have that sense of urgency to get everybody out there. And if somebody shows up late or somebody calls in or if somebody's not ready or they're just not on their game, it slows just a little bit down in a different directions. And that's talking from whoever's in charge to the CSR that's not giving everybody their information, or dispatcher, I should say. And then calls are coming in at the same time. It can get very chaotic. And
Can be.
systems help dramatically. And then also
Culture helps.
culture, but modifying your systems as your culture goes. Because we had the best system in the whole world. We had a checklist for the vans. Do the checklist. Check, 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 check. Here's the checklist, Larry. Thank you.
All right,
And they call us an hour
you're
later.
taking off on me. I got a system. I got a system for
got a
this
system.
podcast too.
Check, 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 check. All right, Eric, start with your system. What are we going to talk
Running
about
all
first?
over
Let's
the
start
place.
with your framework.
All right. I have
Hang
a
on, real quick, before
four-part.
you keep going. We've got Cooper here. Cooper, please join us at any time you like. Because Cooper's
All right,
part of the
thank you.
family.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
that'd be great.
Part of the SuperTech ecosystem.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we figured out basically a four-part framework to get everybody out the door and how we want it, right? And I'm not going to give them all at once, so we'll do it one by one. But the first thing that we learned was to have a meeting, to have some sort of meeting, some sort of connection. You fought me on that. You did not want a meeting, right? You wanted to get guys out the door.
But you know what? When we did the production meeting before we started educating them in the meetings, they were into it, and I think that helped the day start on the best note. I mean, that was something very good in the beginning. Something so simple. Okay, you guys are going here. You guys are going here. You're going to be doing this. You're going to be doing that. Okay, boom, boom, boom. Get out the door. And everybody liked to know what everybody else was doing, and that was very interesting feedback for me.
Yeah.
I thought I was like, "What? Why are they so worried about it?"
Yeah, I never understood that either, but like whatever made them happy made me happy, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I think it was? Like our team, especially as the years went on, they got along well, and they want, we had a lot of repeat clients, so I think they kind of wanted to know so that they could say, give their 2 cents on that, like the client or the job or something, to make it easier for their friend too,
Yeah.
right? So that was good. So yeah, we did. I used to text everybody their schedule every day, early, and then they could go to their iPad and look at it on the schedule. And like you and I, to be honest, both of us just figured like, well, they have the information, they know what time they need to be there. Like, what do we need to
Problem.
talk
Yeah.
about, right? And we learned very quickly. Well, we didn't act very quickly, but we learned quickly that that didn't really work. Right? We're not building a sense of community. We're not teaching them the skills and the tools they need to both do the work and create a 5-star service experience. Right? That those need to be conversations that are had frequently, and they lacked a sense of community. And that one of the things we learned was most of the people that we were managing were quite a bit younger than us. The generations following ours, they wanted to be part of something. They wanted to be part of a community. And look, there's plenty of clients that we have in Super Tech that they do it online. They do it on Zoom because they don't meet. Maybe they dispatch from home. Maybe they like, however you meet is not the thing. The thing is to meet, and the meeting has to be brief. Like, this is not death by meeting. Let's go burn all of our profit in morning meetings. We're not saying that. What we're saying though is a small investment every day to make things run smoother. Larry, you got any 2 cents on the meeting from your perspective before we move to the second framework?
Oh, because it was a good way for everybody to start the day. Everybody knew the process of starting the day. It didn't start from chaos. It started from calmness, some direction, a little bit of conversation, just like 5 or 10 minutes. Not like
Yeah,
just
exactly.
getting everybody on the same page and out the door.
Well, it's that daily rhythm thing you and I talk about all the time. We got that from Brett Gilliland at Elite Entrepreneurs. He was always talking about how team members like a rhythm. They like every day to kind of start the same, right? So we recognized that. And as we started, because we were having a bit of a tardiness problem too, which drove me bonkers. But by
Uh,
starting that meeting, I don't remember what, do we start at 7:30? I don't know, something like that, right?
Depending on the
Seven.
year, yes.
Yeah. 7 o'clock, we're in a meeting, right? So if you're not on time, because everybody knows the meeting starts at 7, and I wasn't waiting till 7:01. Like, we're starting at 7. And then people would start coming in late, doing the walk of shame to go grab a chair. And that, next thing you know, they're doing that on time because they don't want to do the walk of shame, right? So like that, having that daily rhythm of a meeting really helped us, right? It kind of got them warmed up. It was like the warm up before the game too, right? It kind of got them warmed up and into the day, right? So that's framework number one. Number two is having van checklists, right? Like Larry alluded to it earlier. The worst thing ever for me was like, like in our carpet cleaning division, guy would drive 30 minutes away, call me up and say, or call the office and say, I don't have my carpet wand. The carpet wand is the one tool you need to clean carpet, right? So all of a
The
sudden
one tool you
now,
checked off.
so now you're sitting there, we're looking bad, no production's happening. Somebody at the office has to leave, go find your wand, and then deliver it to you. Then they have to drive. So they just lost an hour of transit time. We lost an hour of production time. And look, I'd love to tell you that only happened once, and that is not true, right? Or they didn't bring the right materials or whatever, right tools, right? So we got very intentional about having a morning van checklist and an evening van checklist. We're only going to talk about the morning one today, but like, look, and the morning one was bigger because guys would come in off the field. I was not going to give them a 30-point checklist at 6 p.m. when they've been out dogging it for 10 hours, right? Like, I just like they could do the minimum and go home and rest and come in. But so that meant the van checklist in the morning was pretty robust, and they had to really get on that, right? And Larry talked about it a little bit. This is going to lead us into framework number three. So everybody would have a van checklist, right? So they had to go do this checklist. We had different things that we did in our company. The checklist would be different for different people. And the office would add in what materials they needed or whatever. Like there's no gray area, right? That was a big deal. Then, Larry, even though we had the checklist, what would inevitably happen?
Check it, and they would just keep going down, like I was talking about early in this thing when I was so rudely interrupted.
Stealing my thunder.
They would check it, and it wouldn't be there. They just go through and check it. Just it was subconscious.
Yeah,
They just do it,
yeah,
and then we had to find
yes.
somebody else check it. Leslie in the
Okay,
office checked
you're
it.
getting ahead of me again.
Here we
Yeah,
go again. But they would check it and just not think about it, and it wasn't on there. They didn't really check it.
you're
They
right.
were
That's
just
the
checking
thing.
a
They got in the
box.
habit of doing it every day, so they're in a hurry, so they'd go check, 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 and then they'd leave, and next thing you know, we're getting a call, hey boss, I don't have this or I don't have that, right? So then leading to the third thing, so we'd have the meeting, everybody would prep their van and with a checklist, right? Then we had to have lineup, right? We learned that we had to have other people check the checklist who were not on that van, right? So Larry would do it, I would do it, managers would do it, office staff, admin, they would do it. We'd all come out. This was all done within 30 minutes, all of it, right? Vans getting ready, checklists, meetings, all of it, because we needed to get outdoor and make money. So now we're having somebody with a fresh set of eyes check that checklist. And in addition to that, they're checking, is your grooming on point? Is your uniform neat and tidy? How does your van look before we go out there? Do you have gasoline? Right? We had a truck check too, right? We had all these systems that we were building to try to make things run smoothly so that we could go get 5-star service experience. Our people would look the part, they were ready, right? And it sounds super like babysitting, I guess, maybe, but it was like military, right? Like, I mean, we were just like boom, 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 boom every single day. Look, what do pilots do? I fly all the time. So does Larry for our job. What's the pilot doing when you walk on a plane? They're doing a checklist for all the controls up there. Now, that pilot probably knows by the back of his or her hand all those controls, but guess what? FAA regulations is they have to do the checklist with somebody else every single time, right? So, like, there is no point where we're not checklisting anymore.
Oh, and it's
And
also the
Larry,
accountability for the checklist. That's the biggest thing. Who's going to hold them accountable for that checklist?
right? Yeah. And then the last thing, and I think a lot of ways the most important is high fives, right? We want to send them out in the world feeling good, right? I mean,
Uh,
Larry was really good at this. I mean, I think I was pretty good too. Like we were walking around after that van list as they were heading out, like and just giving people high fives, telling them have a great day, right? Like you're gonna kill it today because I don't want people dragging ass and like driving out of there going, I hate working here. This sucks. That is not going to create 5-star service experiences for our clients, right? So, the biggest part of the morning, because look, we all know this is a hard job. You're going to be, we were in LA, you might be stuck in traffic as soon as you leave the shop, right? You might have difficult clients. You might be tired from the 4 jobs you did yesterday. Somebody's got to give everybody a little bit of appreciation on the way out the door, right? That like it might not seem like that's a big deal, but that's a big deal. Because I remember I was a technician for years before we started our business. Nobody ever gave me a high five. Nobody ever said I had a good day. It was just like, get out there and make me money. Like, okay, thanks. Appreciate it. So, Larry, that's really, to me, the most important 4 things of having a solid morning. You got anything to add? I mean, I'm sure you do.
well, the whole thing is when you have a solid morning, you're going to have a solid later morning. You're going to have a solid afternoon. One leads to the next. And when you have systems and people buy into systems, it goes much easier. And then the morning is important because people get up out of bed in the morning and either you're encouraged for your day or you're not. And if you enjoy your job and you know what you're going to and you have some motivation, it's going to change how you perform during that day. And you want your team to perform. So if you give more structure, and that's something that is so important, team wants structure.
Yeah,
And we've got
I
different
agree.
people on this call. We have Lewis Martin has a team, Brenda has a team, Cooper has a team that are here with us. You guys can chime in anytime you want. The more structure you bring to your team, the more happy they are. And we had the carpet cleaning team was much more structured and much more comfortable compared to the restoration because the restoration was more reactionary. So
Yeah.
we had to
I
dial in
think it
the
was a
systems
personality thing.
harder.
And yeah, I was going to say, I think it's a personality thing. Like our carpet cleaning division, the nature of that job required a person to be very process oriented, and the guys moved a little slower. Like they really lived the like slow is smooth, as smooth as fast, right? Like it's easier to just do it step by step. Our restoration team, which also was way bigger, there are a lot more people, right? A lot more moving parts. But things could be changing for us during the meeting. We could
Yeah.
get, you know, we could get so much more work in the span of 20 minutes while we're getting ready to go for the day. So I do had a lot of systems, but it was way more of a challenge to get every door in the
Yeah.
right way.
On the
Because
restoration side.
we tended to get a lot of commercial restoration work right about the time when we were starting our day too. So
Yeah.
that could blow up our morning a little bit, but
Yeah.
it was all
It would
good.
change things. But I guess the structure we gave the beginning of the day structure, which made people more comfortable.
Yeah.
And when you give your team structure, it was amazing to me. I didn't realize. I mean, I'm a high I. I'm bouncing around. I need less structure as anybody else. But
Now you
most
need
of
more
your
structure.
team, yeah, I need it. I'm not saying I'm looking for it. I need it the
Yeah.
most. But the team is generally in the disc profile. They're slower paced and they're more detail or people oriented, and they want structure. Otherwise, it throws them off, and they're not wanting to come to work because nobody wants to come to work with chaos. They want to come to work with knowing what's going on. And you get people that's comfortable coming to work, you're going to get more productivity, you're going to get more profit, you're going to have a happier team, more culture oriented. And the having systems in the morning just creates culture.
Yeah. And look, a lot of companies will run call by call management, right? So they're not showing a technician the entire schedule. They have one job and then they will call in and get dispatched to another one. And look, a lot of, like Larry mentioned, on a disc profile, a lot of technician types don't love that, right? It's good for the business, and I think it's necessary for a lot of businesses to do call by call management, and I am a fan of it. But that makes the morning meeting even more important because they at least are starting their day knowing what's next for the next 2 to 4 hours, right? And then the day might change. So any amount of structure that we can add, especially to certain types of personalities, the better. All right.
And to piggyback on that, some people came in later to the call here to the meeting. When we're saying morning meeting, we're not saying sit down. You can take a long time. We're talking 5 to 10 minutes. Have a quick conversation about what's going on for the day. Have some structure in that. That 5, 10 minutes. If it's going really well, maybe extend it to 15 and get him out the door. I was the guy in the back of the room turning on the music while Eric's in the middle of his lesson, banging on my wrist. We got to get these people out for two reasons. They had jobs they had to get to. We didn't want them being late. And
And you were
it
bored. And you
cost
were
us
bored.
a bundle.
And you were bored. 3 reasons.
Well, maybe I was getting bored, but no. Thank you for the recap. Oh, our pleasure, Brenda. But you know, it gets expensive. You have 10, 15 guys there. I mean, it's worth it if you're filling them up with goodness. It's going to make a difference for your day, but you need to be
Yeah,
aware.
this is where you and I depart. I think most companies, whatever they spend, will make that up 10x with
Oh, of
good
course.
training and good attitudes.
But you need to be intentional because someone coming in here hearing about this that doesn't know us and our theories and logic is thinking, I'm not doing this. And I don't want to scare anybody away with this concept. It says there's no way I'm meeting. It's ridiculous. It's never work. How many people do have we talked to at trade shows that are like, this is never going to work? Why in the world? That's the silliest. They just dismiss it immediately. So that's why I say, don't make it too long. If it's going longer, it's going to be effective in the day, then keep talking and use your judgment. But don't, burden yourself with these long half-hour meetings every single day if there's not something you're using it for intentionally for a specific result. I mean, Joe Crisera, his program is a couple hours every single day for months. So it must be effective. Joe's a smart guy. His people around him are smart and his clients are. So, and ours are only like 10 or 15 minutes. Ours are shorter, but
The actual video and super text 3 to 5.
yeah,
I mean, they're very short. And then you have a couple minute conversation, do a checklist, get them out the door.
yeah,
Probably do all that in 15
exactly.
minutes.
We've got a couple
So,
clients here. Cooper shows the lessons. Lewis showed the lessons before. I'm still working on Brenda.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it takes us 5 minutes to talk about the jobs and then 5 minutes for the video and we're out the door. So
yeah, there you go. That makes some money. Cooper, what do you think it brings to the team? Sorry, we know Cooper. He's a
well
friend.
it's
And
it's definitely cool to see like the team members will text and be like, hey, I was thinking about this from the video and this is what I can improve on, or it's just
Mhm.
stuff that they can take throughout the day and the week to improve themselves. So
Yeah. Yeah. And really, nobody wants an hour-long lesson on anything. Like I certainly don't, right? The the things that matter are giving them a little bit of information in the key areas of our business every single day, right? Job site behavior, sales, you know, reading clients, communicating, just the little things, and just a three like I get texts and calls all the time from technicians, from managers, from owners. Larry does too. It's uncanny. They'll be like, "Oh, you had a lesson today." They think I know what lesson they're on. Right? Oh, your lesson today was exactly what we needed to hear because the day before we were having massive problems with that, right? And it's like, well, we're all having massive problems with certain things all the time, right? And it's like you hear the lesson and they're just like, that's what we needed to hear today. And, you know, I think it's also a confidence boost to a lot of the team. And then lastly, Larry, before we take off, y- everybody complains about keeping employees, right? Everybody's like, they quit all the time, they leave me, da da da. Anybody that's done any studying of Generation Z, which is the ages 28 to 13, and millennials too, which is up to age roughly 40, all of the data shows that one of the most important things, they have three things that they really care about at work. That's having purpose, meaning to the job, right? So that's in these meetings. That's where I'm going to be talking about why we do what we do. They want investment in themselves. They want somebody to invest in them. Most companies, what you get a technical training once a year or something. That's not enough, right? They want to be invested in. And lastly, they want to have a sense of community. I mean, anybody's watching the news, they're saying that you know, people are the loneliest they've ever been in their lives. They don't have friends. They don't have this. They don't have that. I can have a 5 minute meeting, like, or 10 minutes a day, like Cooper said. This is when they're bonding. This is when they feel like they're part of something bigger than themselves. What's the price of that? I mean, we all know that the cost of turnover is massively high. So, what if I do this and I keep people 6 months longer, a year longer, paid for every meeting times 10? Right. So
Absolutely.
anyway,
Makes a
all
big
right,
difference.
Larry.
And we're not just sitting here. Hang on. You know, we're pitching Super Tech University because we believe in it and we got to keep the lights on. But if you can sit there and talk to your team for a couple minutes a day and hit a topic, one of your pain points or something they need to know, it goes a long way. And that's what we did in the beginning. And we got more formalized and more intentional. And Eric was much more strong with his content. And that's what made the difference. So that's what we're talking about. Connect with your team. Find a time once a day to connect with your team, and it will pay for itself 10x, if not more, over. And that's my 2 cents. So,
All right.
any questions from anybody? Brenda or Lewis or Cooper or anybody in the Facebook world?
Nope,
No?
I'm good. Katie Harris says hi, though.
Well, you tell Katie we
Are
said
you with
hi.
Katie right now?
No, not right now. I just texted her and let her know that I was on here.
I was texting her earlier. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Cool, yep.
Thank you for listening to the Blue Collar Nation podcast. For more information about Eric and Larry and Supertech University, please visit us at supertechu.com. That is supertechu, the letter U.com.